our house, right?
Okay, all right, here we go. We are recording.
So
So,
hello there. This is Vibrant Life Inspired Business, and we're talking about being intentional today with mind, body, and spirit, so that we can have a strong finish and a great start. A strong finish to 2015, an awesome start to 2016 by setting ourselves up for success and intentional living. And we have a couple of probably practical tips, maybe 2 or 3 of those that can get you to apply a few things towards your health and a few things towards your business. It doesn't have to be an overwhelming thing. Just one choice, one action will get you some results to set yourself up for 2016. So let's go there. Berlin, what do you got to say?
well, first of all, I just love that phrase that you have, one choice, one action, because we really, in sometimes at different seasons of our life or different, actually seasons of the calendar, we
True.
really have to stay focused, and it's really 1 hour at a time, one choice, one action, just keep moving forward with that intention and, the focus on our goals or our purpose or significance or whatever we said that we were going to focus on in that moment. So I love that. So one of the things that made me think that we needed to blab about being intentional is because I have to live that one moment, one choice at a time lately, because I've been so scattered and not intentional. We teach what we most have to learn, right? So,
yeah, but I would like to beg to differ that you're very intentional, and that our intentional doesn't have to be always the same, that we can do all that we can do on some moments. And if we're intentionally doing just that, even though it's not our magnifique,
yeah,
our perfectness, our wonderful, voulez-vous. So anyway, I just want to say that because it doesn't have to be all or nothing.
right, exactly. That's very true. And another thing, in the 4 agreements, it always said the last agreement is to always do your best, but sometimes your best isn't your 100%.
It's for right now.
In the moment. So your best in the moment is your best, and it has to be. You have to be okay with that. Otherwise, you're going to be beating yourself up all the time. So I love that.
So sometimes we compare ourselves to ourselves and we're our biggest competition, and that's okay. And that's an excellence or a bar to achieve. I know when I'm doing well in my eating. I know when I'm, starting my morning routine and having my morning disciplines, they set me up for success. But I also know when it's all I can do to get out of the bed rather than stay in the bed till whatever, 10, 11 o'clock, because it's a hard morning and I'm email and smartphone beside me instead of up and doing it and doing my full-blown routine. So again, as long as it's one thing moving forward or 2 things moving forward, every time is different, and that's okay. So.
Yeah. So I'd like to set up the agenda for this blab. It's getting intentional in body, mind, and spirit in both the business and in the health. And Laura's the health side and I'm the business side. So Laura, obviously I won't say the biggest thing, but the big obvious thing is body, right? When you're talking about health, being intentional in your body is
right.
Absolutely huge. The other 2 are very, very important too, and you can't do it without them. But let's start with, how about being intentional in your body? For the end of this year, with all of the holiday parties coming up, with the craziness, with the family coming, all of those things that are happening, how can we be intentional in our body?
Yeah, it's really about planning. And I guess it's that way with everything, And really, I'm going to, again, sound argumentative or beg to differ, as the saying goes, because I do believe body is the obvious, because we're about what are we putting in. And at the holidays, it's cookies and it's the candy on a coworker's desk, or it's the breads that I'm making to give, and I've got to have a little bit for myself. But I think it starts with mindset, because when I've made up my mind that this is not going to be the year I'm going to have cookies at every batch, and I'm not going to lick the bowl or eat the batter, I cannot
Right.
to that level. So that's the level of intention for me, and that starts in my mindset. And then, of course, it is about setting myself up for maybe a snack, maybe a protein drink before I go to one of the parties, and maybe have an alcoholic beverage, but then maybe have the second one with half, as a spritzer with half of tonic water or whatever you choose, Pellegrino. So making small choices so that you don't feel deprived, because who wants to feel deprived at the holidays? It is not about that. I am so about setting yourself up to protect yourself from failures, but setting yourself up to have some indulgences, to live vibrantly, like whatever that is for you. For me, it might be, what are those cookies, Pfeffernuss and the German, and what Mexican wedding cakes, the little, those with all the butter. But I'm planning that. I'm not falling into the cookies going, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And then I cave. That's not intentional. Intentional is setting ourselves up. So having that protein before we get there, so that before the dinner happens, all those cookies and breads that are sitting around are not calling my name. So that's one of the things that I do.
And I just want to add to that, because you taught me this brilliant little thing about our protein, is that we don't always have to use it with the almond milk or cashew milk or whatever you're using. You can have water. So, and it tastes just fine. If you're doing some frozen berries, and that the ID Life shake is amazing. So if you just do it with water, then you have the protein for satiety, but you don't have all those calories. So then you can plan on having a little something, something.
Exactly. So important. And not only this satiety of having protein to keep the blood sugar balanced, but you mentioned ID Life, and it could be another brand, but ID Life for me is the choice because it has stevia and not sugar or sucralose, which I'd rather you have sugar than sucralose, although 46 teaspoons of sugar a day is not what I want you to have. But the stevia is a big factor. But you mentioned satiety. And so for me, having the chia seeds or the micromilled flax or seeds in it can really help. So mine's built into that with the ID Life protein. And I love the chocolate because it seems like a chocolate shake. So in the afternoon or evening when I need something, that works for me. But if you don't have that, get a high quality egg white or whey, grass-fed whey protein, and mix your own flaxseed or chia seed into it. So it does give you that satiety. So I'm glad you mentioned the water, because I was almost hesitant to share that with you, although you're one of my clients and friends that really is about, whatever's best, and not necessarily this is the way I always do it, and I can't possibly not have my coffee or my indulgent or whatever. So I do like to save the calories there, maybe because we're doing several a day and we don't want to have the extra 100 calories in milk over and over. So
exactly. I love that. And then it's not all or nothing. You could do half milk and half water too. So
exactly. And that's how we do with juices. A lot of people think, since we're on that topic, cutting out soda, if you did nothing else for the holiday, is reduce your alcoholic intake, like I mentioned, especially if you do a rum and Coke or vodka ginger, or whatever it is that you do with the added sugar, sodas. Instead, cut it with spritzer, and then not choose sodas to drink when you stop for a burger or whatever, because we're traveling, as she mentioned, we're going to grandma's house, and the In-N-Out burger is going to be one of the stops sometimes. And if you just make a better choice, but skip the soda, bring your own bottle, and as long as it's soda or soda water. But stay away from the soda. And if you do nothing else, the amount of calories and sugar that you will save will be amazing.
Yeah, and it's not all about the calories either, because diet soda is actually worse. It really is worse because of the toxins and the reaction in your body. Well, you know this, Laura, you should be speaking to this, the reaction in your body and the toxins. So diet soda, hit it.
Yeah. Well, you already did. I mean,
okay.
You already did. I mean, just because something is calorie free doesn't mean that it's the choice, because to me, we're counting chemicals and not calories. What is doing good for my body? My body's a machine. It is a beautiful temple to be preserved and nurtured and loved, so it lasts forever and doesn't rust out. Yeah. Right? We certainly don't want to be at the end of just like we don't want to be at the end of our money at the end of the month. We don't want to be at the end of our life with a body that's really not pushing forward either.
Right. Jet engine fuel, baby. Jet engine fuel.
Yeah, we're working on that, right? Girls, girls,
we're work in progress.
Yeah, we're working on that. In fact, we really truly are working on that, because here's another quickie tip. In the traveling, we can't always go to the gym. I've got stuff to do. I'm writing Christmas cards and a Christmas letter, first time ever that I've ever done, after years of saying that we were going to doing a Christmas letter, but I don't have time to go to the gym. So that's the way it is. So get your weights out. If you don't have weights, get your jugs of, apple juice or whatever it is, and do some curls. Do them while you're standing there curling your hair. I do it like this.
Yep.
Whatever it takes, fit it in.
Yep. I usually have my bands tied up over here, so I'll be doing my bands while we're doing this, but I took them down for this morning. So yeah.
Whatever it takes, we do multitasking when we're doing the laundry and baby's on our hip and, reading a Pinterest thing for a Christmas party we're doing or making cupcakes, whatever that is, just choose a few things and make some good changes.
Yeah, and just stay intentional what you're doing with your body. So, Laura, do you want to go with all of the health stuff first with the mind and the spirit and health, or do you want to do body and business right now since we did body and health?
Well, since we don't have, it works. It all works. So whatever you want to do.
Okay, well, let's do body and business, and then we'll move on to mind and spirit. So body and business, what do you do with your body and business? You take action. You get to the meetings that you're supposed to get to. You pick up the phone when you're supposed to get to. You follow up with the people that you have to do. You write, you type. It's whatever it is to get in action, to be intentional about what you are doing, because the body is doing, right? So I love, John Maxwell has a whole 30-day intentional living little program that he does. And some of these notes are from him. And I just love what he has about your significance is adding value to others every day, having to do being intentional about adding value wherever you go. Yeah. And so since this is body, we're talking about in the grocery store line, are you cheerful and you say Merry Christmas or hello even, to the clerk who's probably overwhelmed and overworked, or the stock people who keep having to straighten up the messy inventory, right? Just cheer them up, give an encouraging word. It's not necessarily business, but let me tell you, your footprint follows you. Wherever you go, you leave a trail of the influence that you've had. And it could be people that you don't know when your paths are going to cross again. And of course, if they're your business people, your peers and your vendors and, your colleagues and obviously your clients, right, or potential clients, leave a trail of significance by being encouraging and uplifting and just adding value wherever you go. So body for your business and body for, just being a blessing in the world. So that's what I would say for body.
I would add to that it's not about random acts of kindness. It's about intentional acts of kindness. It's about intentionally, even just something not to somebody else, but just to do the right thing, is putting your grocery cart away. People love me so much and if this is you, then, don't be, what's the word? We're not condemned, but we're convicted. Right. People leave their grocery carts because they don't want to go back. They're in a hurry. It's the rainy season. Just put your cart back. I was convicted one time of that. Someone told me, I think it was Joyce Myers had
Joyce Myers says it, definitely.
And, do the right thing. Have some integrity and do the right thing, and the world will be pleasant. And,
so. Actually, and that's part of the spirit of excellence.
Right.
So, having that spirit of excellence definitely comes out in your body and your actions. Don't put the cleanser back with the bread. If you decide you don't want the cleanser, don't just leave it wherever.
I could not. I would feel so guilty to do that.
I know exactly. Or if you drop something, pick it up or wipe it up or whatever. Yeah, it's just one of those things that. Joyce also says that if you clean up after other people, God will send someone to clean up after you. I love that. So I always think pick the clothes up off the floor and put it back on the hanger when they're falling all over the rack and stuff. So
right.
I don't just think, it's not my job. Now, obviously you can get distracted in that. I want you to stay focused and intentional about why you're there. You're not there to clean the store, but
No, but but you wonder about some people. I don't know.
You do because but my mama raised me right. Okay. So why don't we do we said body, mind, and spirit. So why don't we do the mind in the health? Why don't you take that one?
Mind. Well, I kind of talked about that. For me, body starts with mind because the mind is my thought captor.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can, have you ever thought about this when you might be cruising along really fine in terms of how you're eating clean or whatever, but some suggestion comes in your mind, like someone says, "Oh, I want to have Carl's Jr." or whatever, and you go, "Oh, Carl's Jr." and you start ruminating, thinking, "Oh,"
Oh,
or I see a commercial for, cut up cookies or whatever, and I think, "Oh, that would be a great thing to do." You know,
exactly why they do those commercials.
exactly. And so we've got to really stay intentional with what we let in our eye gates and what we let in our ear gates. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but seriously, what travels through here is so kind of talking to me. And that's another reason why I'm saying not just don't listen or don't do those things, don't put those things around you, but at the same time, do it because,
Be intentional.
yeah, you can be intentional about making the decision ahead of time that I am going to do something. This is going to be the night because I've been working out or I did really good the last 2 days. While again, I'm not counting calories, although it depends. If somebody needs to lose some weight, calories in and calories out are not exactly equal. Calorie is not a calorie equal, but expenditures do have something to do with it. So, just
Right.
justify and plan. Okay, I'm going to have cheesecake because I know so and so makes an amazing cheesecake, and I'm not going to just graze and pick up any old thing. It's got to really be worth it to add those calories in because you're either going to cut something out later or you're going to get in the mode of what do you call it? Expenditure, letting it go with the treadmill or the in our case the trampoline.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very good. So, about your mind too, and staying focused, and you're talking about taking your thoughts captive because you can have intentional thoughts. You can set your mindset intentionally, and definitely around your body and what you're putting in and how you're expending that. And you can also set your mind intentionally around your business. Obviously, where are your goals? That's like the big thing. But intentionally, kind of to me mean, well, it does definitely to me, it means strategic as well. So
Exactly.
when you do one thing,
Right.
don't make it a once and done in business. See how you can repurpose that or reuse that effort that you've put into there and that brilliance that you've shared. Like if you're writing a blog post, could that also be a little video? Could you expand it to become an article? Could you add a little exercise to it and it becomes a freebie? You know, how else can you use that? Be mindful of how you can repurpose and reuse and leverage the time that you spend in your business, and be intentional about the mindset around it. Like if you think, oh, this, I'm just going to do this, just whip it out there just to get something done, that will come through. Believe it or not, your energy that you put into a writing comes out on the other end when someone is reading it, and they can tell if it's just a halfway deal. So really be mindful about your intention and the attitude that you're writing it with. Even if it's the written word. Obviously, if it's a video, you don't want to. I love this season because this is a perfect example. Watch this. Joy to the world. You know what I mean? It's just there's such, the passion is missing in some people's writing, and don't get frazzled and
Right.
just do it to be done, So be mindful about that too.
Rob, thanks for popping in. It's your first time on Blab. That's fun. We got a couple newbies
Hey,
here.
Rob.
So this is Berlin Newbie of Message Mosaic, and I'm Laura Van of Laura Van Vibrant Living. And we like to combine vibrant living in terms of health and vibrant living in terms of, inspired business in terms of how to basically apply the same principles to your business and your health. So we're all about equipping and making life simpler by doing strategies and making a plan to profit, whether it be profit in your physical body or in your business. So welcome. Tell us who you are and what you do. You're in a noisy cafe, so you won't be joining us necessarily, but just like I said, welcome to being on Blab. To the left, you can tweet out this, invite people on your Facebook page and tweet it out and bring people in, or invite them to check the replay out later. We're here on Tuesdays at 2 with more health and inspired business tips. So.
Oh, great. Yeah. Very cool platform. Awesome. Well, one of the things that we like to say is you can spend your health to get wealth, but then you'll end up spending your wealth to get your health back.
That's right.
So we don't believe in that, right? We want to get to the finish line healthy, strong.
And as Berlin always says, you can inspire others when you're on your way. And she says it in a different way, but I'm saying it that way because it's like there's so many times when we feel like we have to know all the information before we can pass it on. And we're really all about building community and unity. And we're all in this together, entrepreneurs. And we all have this wheelbarrow that needs to carry forth our message. So we really do need to include wellness into our business plan. And so Berlin and I are on that same page, and we're all about seeing how we can integrate that and inspire you and help you try to have the most vibrant life that you can. And I'll take the word try out, right?
Right.
You will have the most vibrant life that you can and inspire your peeps. So welcome.
Right. Another piece of being mindful or intentional in your mind around business is your personal growth. And I would say this is a very busy season, and you probably want to stop, focusing on personal growth, but make a plan to continue or pick up your personal growth. What are you doing to develop yourself in the new year? And it's not about a goal or a resolution. This is something that should be a lifelong practice, because stretching our mind, and especially in the area of our business, will make us more valuable to our clients, and it's also adding to our longevity for the vibrancy of our life. So it's important to make sure that you're on track with your personal growth, and that's the only way that your tomorrow will be better than today.
And let me jump in on that, because your personal growth is also about mindset. As I mentioned earlier, mindset's important, but the holidays are a great time to do personal growth with relationships. There might be someone you really need to forgive, or there might be somebody that you just have rubs you the wrong way and you have to sit next to them at Christmas dinner. You know how those go, right?
Yes.
So, the very person that irritates me the most and really rubs my spirit wrong, often I need to show the most love to. So for me, being inspired and being intentional is about going ahead of the game and deciding, okay, that guy really last year was a pain in my butt, but I'm going to make an attempt to see you later, come back.
Okay, bye, Rob. You can watch the replay later.
So I just think that forgiveness is a huge key at the holiday, and I believe that unforgiveness is a hindrance in our spirit. It does make our joy and our peace dissipate. So it's really important. So appreciate people who are willing to forgive and give grace over the holiday season, because that was what was given to us. That's what we celebrate this season for, is the grace of God, and it's so important to pass it along to others. So that's my little segue to the spirit.
Right. Awesome. So take it away. Your spirit in your health.
Oh, I just did, basically. The forgiveness piece is, for me, that just kind of transitioned into personal growth, definitely translates for me into my character and my behavior. And so forgiveness comes up, it's what I just spoke on, actually. And a lot of people have others to forgive, but I also know that forgiveness for myself and not having regrets, or even if you don't need to forgive yourself now, do things now that you don't need to forgive yourself later for, like not making those phone calls to your loved ones, or not sending that card, or go the extra mile, go the extra effort this year, even when you don't feel like it, and the depression that can come on and make our spirit heavy. We can make a choice. Remember, it's one choice, one action at a time. And you can make a choice to say, this is a tough go for me this year. Maybe you've lost a loved one. Maybe you don't have the money you usually have, or your job's different. Whatever it may be, we all have our struggles, but we get to make a choice to make an action that serves others, and in that can serve ourselves and make us feel better about life and have that joy of the season. So,
yeah. And another thing about spirit in your health is being spiritual, because I know that the meditation definitely helps calm your soul, calm your spirit. You
Right.
can use the meditation for not only relaxation but also for retraining your brain, because we get stuck in some ruts of old mindsets and things like that. And definitely the meditation helps. It's a spiritual practice that is scientifically proven to
Yeah.
help. And actually prayer is also scientifically proven to increase the gyrification in the brain. So you actually have more surface area, more folds to be able to use. And
Yeah.
so if you can use more brain in your business, then meditation is good, right?
Absolutely.
Praying.
That's why um, uh, it really is it really is a weaving of our mind, body, and spirit that connects to our physical life, which is our relationships, that the areas that we touch, including ourselves, how we honor ourselves, how we honor people.
Mhm.
And it also has, again, to do with how we look at our business, and that we don't just see it as a place to make money and be our career and our job, but
Right.
it's about where we leave a legacy. It's about where we reach out to others and share our brilliance. Or maybe it's just because we've overcome something, not necessarily that I learned, the skill or went to school specifically for that. However, I did, through my own journey, go to school specifically for being, a health coach and lifestyle coach. And so the combination of skill set and experience, life experience, and then the desire to use it for others rather than just be an overcomer myself, I think it's a real sense of fulfillment, a real sense of leaving that legacy that we're really called to be.
Yes. And Masad, please help how we can fight corruption in the world. Start with
Love.
yourself. Start with yourself, right? Where am I not being in integrity?
Right, exactly.
Anywhere, either to myself or to others. That's
Right.
where it starts, really, because if we can't control our own backyard, then we're not going to be able to control anybody else. And we can't control anybody else, right? We have to start with our own self, our own family. And as parents, it's important to instill in your children. But I want to get back to spiritual side of business, because what is your passion? What what do you love to do? Those are the things that need to be incorporated into your business so that you can break through the obstacles that are going to come your way. So you can, go over, around, or under, or through whatever that's going to come your way. Because if you're just doing your business for the money, that's not going to cut it. It
That's
has to be your passion. It has to be a spirit-led, spirit-aligned pursuit that you do for your business. And I really encourage anyone who is not doing that to either slowly migrate to that or drop and change direction, and do what really fires you up, what you really have passion for, because you will make more money and transform more lives, or touch more people. There are people that you are supposed to touch. And if you don't pick up the ball and get over yourself, then no one will be able to touch them in exactly the way you are.
That's right. We got to
Right.
step up. And that's where I came in with the forgiving myself, because, we've all done things in our lives that we regret, or that shifted the course of where things probably, well, not probably, we were born with a purpose and a destiny and plans for hope. And sometimes we make choices that shift us, and life does as well. It's not always ourselves. But for me, I, talking about forgiving ourselves, it's because we sometimes won't move out of what we did wrong or the regret. So looking at it ahead of time and saying, how can I live without regret? How can I live like I'm dying? How can it be for just a purpose now, so that I don't miss the parts that I was born for, that I don't miss the calling on my life, or the destiny that I'm supposed to leave, the legacy I'm supposed to leave. Love the name Suitably Spoken. That's pretty awesome, Patricia. Welcome. So
Yeah.
I just think that, self-love, self-forgiveness, shaking off the baggage we're not supposed to carry, being intentional about our integrity and making choices that are not comfortable, because I say that it's not about our comfort level, it's about our character that's supposed to be refined. And we know what that refiner's fire is like, don't we?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So some tips I would say, intentionally think about adding value to others, adding value to yourself with that personal growth or with the meditation, or adding value as far as taking care of your body. What are you adding value? How are you adding value today? And that's being intentional in all areas. Are you taking those thoughts, taking them captive? Like you're in control of your thoughts, and believe me, you're in control of your emotions too. It might not feel like it, but you really do get to choose how you react.
Yeah, that's
And
right. Boy,
yeah,
that's a hard one, especially when you are still carrying baggage that's explosive.
yeah, pushing your
You have
buttons,
to refine
exactly.
your skills on having good coping skills. Thanks for sharing, Patricia. We appreciate that. So, you know, go ahead. You were on a track with talking about. Go ahead with
Yeah,
soul.
I love what John Maxwell says about significance, because selfishness, focusing all about yourself and not adding value to others, is antithetical to significance. So it's really just, it's incompatible at all. You can't be selfish and be significant. And I love that, because we go for significance in order to have a vibrant life that we're living out fully, and we're having an inspiring business that we lift others up and serve others. Then we can't be selfish in either of those areas.
That's right. Logan Stout, the CEO of ID Life, says it like this. He'll say, if you're searching for success, you might get a little bit of it, but it's when you search for significance and you really are about making a change, making a transformation, not just inspiring others, but helping them overcome, helping them make a transformation, as you do in your business when you teach someone to, plan out what it is that they want to see manifested in their business. What is the least path of resistance, and what is the most effective for moving out a plan so that we can be successful in our business. And I'm the same with coaching for our bodies, and having a plan so that we don't just randomly go along hoping that we don't put on a size here at Christmas. Don't ask me what I know about that, because I wouldn't know. But
Yeah, right. Me either.
but it's really about significance, and I love that. And then really the only way you get significance is to find out what other people need. And so that kind of goes back to the spirit part that we were mentioning, and the fact that we have to intentionally forgive, we have to intentionally give grace, and we have to find out, and that means kindness, that means coming out of ourselves, that means learning to communicate a little better.
Yeah, and also that's part of the body too, because in order to find out, you're going to go out of your comfort zone to ask the question.
Right.
There's a task, or there's an action that you have to take in order to find out. And sometimes it is going out of your comfort zone to ask those. I know, Laura, you are an amazing question asker, and you want to get to the bottom of things. And
it's your fault.
Yeah, no, you do great. So that's important, because it really makes people feel needed and cherished, and like they're significant to you when you're asking them questions about themselves and how you can serve them in the capacity that you're made for. So yeah, I love that.
My husband and I lead the homeless ministry at our church, and we see, so many people come through. In fact, I'm so excited because this is the week that we house 100 people for the winter sanctuary at our church. We bring them in and give them shelter, and wash their clothes and give them new clothes and feed them, 2 meals, and play games at night, and lots of Christmas gifts. And I'm really grateful that, again, that's for me the part of the mind, body, and spirit, that it's getting out of ourselves. But you mentioned, asking questions to people, and how do we know what someone needs? Every personality is different. Every situation is different. So, some people need money, and others don't need money. They need a friend to sit and play a checker game with them, or they need somebody to give them some dry goods so they don't have, they're not without food when they're out on the street. So you got to ask, you got to know. It's kindness. It's caring about somebody with compassion.
Right. One of my mentors that I absolutely love in this season of my life, and one of my products is called Spirit Centered Business, and he's definitely speaks a lot into that product, is Lance Wallnau. And I love what he says, and this is also the business side of mind, body, spirit. But I'm just going to read it because I wrote it down.
Go ahead.
If you're going to endure to the end as an entrepreneur, you can't be addicted to the adrenaline rush that events create.
Right, the drama.
Right, exactly. So it can't be just this hype because there's so much other stuff. And he's like, growth happens naturally, incrementally, but
Right.
it's not in an event. So events change the status quo, but process changes the situation. I love that. It speaks to really staying the course, making those decisions, staying intentional in the moment, taking actions that are intentionally towards your goals in mind, body, and spirit, in both your health and your business. That just pretty much says it all right there, is that the process changes the situation. Because an event, we all get a mountaintop experience when it's all wow and the world is wonderful, and then Monday morning comes, right?
Or we go to a seminar and then we're like, I don't remember what
Exactly. We get all fired up to do our business. We meet this new person and it's going to be awesome. This is going to be the one. This is going to be my breakthrough. I'm going to do yada, yada. And then we don't follow through.
Right.
We don't do the things that we know to do.
Huge one is
intentional.
Gosh, that's the hard one, whether it be in our business or whether it be I've got a new diet plan. I bought these new pills and
or DVD to work out. Yeah, exactly.
All of that, and the powders, and then they're sitting there. And so it's I think that's really probably one of the hardest things. It's easy to get ideas. It's easy to get even a plan. You may pay somebody to help you stay on track. I mean, I paid an organizer to come, but is my desk organized? Still not, because it's so hard when it's not your natural bent and it's something completely new to try to do it on your own. Or you may do it on your own with a quick coach. Like in my case, somebody might hire me for 1 session or 3, but not having the accountability to go after. Or I might do Berlin's, 6 weeks, 8 weeks course, but then not have the system in place to continue to follow through. So that's really about being intentional right there for me.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, I did discover that my clients really need an accountability hand holding for, it's not necessarily the intensity. At once they come through the 6 or 8 week program and that intensity is done, then they need that maintenance piece. Yeah. And so, it's so important to follow through and just stay connected and just stay the course. Do what you said you were going to do.
So our choices need maintaining. Just like when we make the choice to put grass in instead of gravel, we have to maintain keep the weeds out and keep the lawn fertilized and so forth. And that's really, for me personally, that is truly the biggest thing to work on, is to keep the ball rolling and to keep it going and keep the dream alive even when it's dry. It's not always easy, but that's why we need each other. That's why we need to connect. So in vibrant living and an inspired business, find somebody that you can connect with, whether it's just a peer that you can move along each other and keep space for, or whether it be a coach that would help you create a plan that's for you. No coach should be having a cookie cutter approach that maybe doesn't fit for you in some areas. And so it's got to be about a personalized blueprint for your body, for your business.
Yep. The days of one size fits all for a model or a template are long gone. This is a new collaborative economy and a new collaborative way that we do business with all of the with the technology that we have even here on Blab. It's just a different landscape, and you can no longer say, oh, do this, and you will get this result.
Right.
It really has a lot to do with it comes back to a spirit, with our energy, and our passions, because we're uniquely designed. And if we don't walk that out in our own unique way, then we're not truly fulfilling the destiny that we're called to do, and we're not completing the mission that we're here for.
Right.
So one size does not fit all. I I would don't walk, run away from a coach that has a formula that
Right.
says, here, this is your template, follow this. You know, if it's for one specific task, that's a totally different thing. For a task, of course you want a formula and a template.
Yeah.
But for your overall strategy of how you're going to either take care of your body, take care of your mind, take care of your spirit, or your business, you know, there is no one size fits all. It's got to be customized and unique to you.
So speaking of intentional, I have a set kind of a meal plan. Of course, it changes when somebody is going to, maybe they don't like maybe it's butternut squash that I do ahead and they don't like that, or, the meat that they would put in the chili that I make. But I have an intentional plan each week that I set out that I'm going to do this many vegetables, and I make up the salads, and I make up the root vegetables that can go and be roasted in the oven. And so on that note, I've got squash, butternut squash, as well as spaghetti squash that I have a sauce that's going to go on top of. And I have some yams in the oven right now that I can smell caramelizing that need me to get out of the oven. So either we're going to finish this up, or you're going to take it on your own for a little bit. So do you have a final part?
No, I really like today. I think being intentional is really important. And you can't stress it enough, because we have to stay intentional every moment. It's not just for the season, it's every moment. And just this season makes it just much more difficult. And that's the only thing, but it really needs to be done always. So
and let me finish,
Laura.
I want to finish with the fact that you said it's that much more difficult. And I think that, again, with mindset shift, I have to change the way I think about it, because if I think, oh gosh, I might as well just wait till the new year because it's going to be too hard. We're traveling. We've got 3 parties and I'm just going to eat whatever I want and get over it then.
Right.
That is not going to work. And we have to be intentional with our mind and saying that, you know what, one party at a time, with a few of these choices that Laura's given me to, arm me with taking some protein before going to a cocktail party and throwing 3 drinks back before we get to and however many cocktail weenies that we, no, let's just pick some things and realize, you know what, it's not going to be that bad. I'm going to give something different than cookies this year. That's going to help me because I know my weaknesses. So part of it is not wearing that veil of, that's not a big deal, or being on, we know denial is not a river in Egypt. It's really about saying I can handle all those cookies on my counter because I know this girl cannot.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And when I say it's that much more difficult, that doesn't mean it can't be done or shouldn't be done. You can't just go skating until the new year and then decide to start. You've got to do it now. You have to continue doing it now. Keep pressing forward. It might be a little bit more difficult, but you can do it. You can do it. You have the power to do it. It's about setting your mindset to do it. Where are you focused?
Yeah. There's no T on the word can.
Exactly. Right. In fact, I started a new exercise program already. I'm not waiting.
Yeah, we can't wait. So ladies and gentlemen, I think we just have some gals. Patricia, I'm so glad you stayed with us. Come back Tuesdays at 2, Vibrant Life Inspired Business. We're here. We are relevant for now in terms of being entrepreneurs. So many are out there shifting gears and running their own businesses. And we just want you to be able to take small bites and intersperse your wellness with your business and not let it be all or nothing. Make one choice, one action at a time to get it done. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for joining us.
Yep.
Tuesday at 2.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you.